The craziest woman fights on paternity court.
Was I a slut when you married me? Was I a slut when you slept with me?
Yes.
Are you kidding me right now?
Excuse me?
This is why I want my divorce.
I'm his baby mother, and I have to talk to him, not you.
It don't matter.
And
He's married to me.
And
the money comes from me.
He said, okay,
so
can I get you child support then, since he SSI?
Would you be estranged enough to ghost your pregnant wife and show up a month later just to deny the child? I know no normal person would pull such an act, but Mr. McGee was that psychopath who did so just because he had doubts.
I've had to pay for medical expenses for my daughter, everything. He left us homeless with my newborn child, and he just vanished and left us. I did everything by myself for the last almost 5 years.
So the defendant was no help at all, and Miss McGee was doing everything on her own for the past 5 years. And the alleged only explanation for it was that I have doubts. Yeah, we got that, but that doesn't make up for bailing on a pregnant woman.
You know me and you were messing around the time I conceived.
No, because you were messing around with multiple.
You was too, and you talking about multiple people before I even had her. I let you know. It ain't like I kept it a secret from you. I let him know it was a slight possibility he wasn't my child's father. I'm not gonna sit up here and make it seem like I'm such a saint, like I didn't do no wrong.
Oh, there were other men involved at the time of conception. Enraged, baby mama further said that even though all the suspicion had pushed the poor hubby away, he could not exploit her for half of a decade.
I know he's my child father, and he needs to step up and help take care of her, because I can't continue to do this on my own.
Mr. McGee, you do admit you were in a sexual relationship with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir Timothy blamed the plaintiff's family for instigating uncertainty in his mind, and he even hit upon messages and photos of other men that the plaintiff was messing with while they were supposedly committed to each other.
He was cheating on me, I was cheating on him. I told him it was a slight possibility he wasn't my child's father. I was honest with him, but that still don't change the fact even after I had her, you married me. You had all these doubts. Why did you marry me? Why you didn't request a DNA test before you married me?
Yeah, why put a ring on someone you can't trust? I'm sure you're not that dumb, right? Well, in Mr. McGee's defense, he was too head over heels for his wife that he got easily fooled into a marriage. However, the real point is that it has nothing to do with keeping up with your responsibilities.
I'll pay 25% and then they could pay the other 75%.
Are you kidding me right now?
Excuse me?
This is why I want my divorce. This is why I want him to sign over his rights, and when his test come back he is my child father, I want him to help me support the cost of that I had to deal with almost 5 years with my child.
How ruthless of him to pay the bare minimum for his baby. Disgusting. Then the defendant kept repeating his denial based on her confession of a possibility. But he brought a twist in the story, as her mother told him that he might not be a father. So, listening to this, the judge brought in Mrs. McGee's mother.
Do you think Mr. McGee is your grandchild's father?
No, my daughter was out there.
I was out there.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Let's be respectful.
Excuse me?
Let's be respectful.
Was I a slut when you married me? Was I a slut when you slept with me?
Yes.
Ooh, mother stoked against daughter. That's interesting. Grandma continued that due to baby mama's upbringing in a Christian family, she was just claiming him as the father to protect herself from being the victim of family gossip. Then the plaintiff asked both of them for an apology, which led to a heated argument.
When this test come back, he is my child's father. I want an apology from you, and I want one from you. Because if I was out there, how I know who my child's father is? I admitted to him that I made mistakes throughout our relationship. We had a relationship until you betrayed me.
It's not that I betray her.
Yeah, she's right. Why only blame her when it takes two to tango? So the judge asked Grandma's opinion on the potential father. Upon hearing this, the defendant said that now there were two guys, but the baby mama shared how his future partner had helped her.
He stepped up and helped me take care of my child while this one left us both. So of course I'm gonna move on with my life. I'm not gonna sit up there and keep being bitter. That little girl means more to me than anything. And that's why he stepped up.
Why are you being so insecure about her moving on? Next, the judge brought in Mrs. McGee's fiance and asked him about the possibility, and he agreed that there was a slight chance. Then the defendant claimed that he would step up if the results prove him wrong, but the plaintiff exposed his bitter reality in the court.
He left me my appendix in rupture while I was 4 months pregnant with my child. I almost lost my daughter. You know what he said to me? I'll be back. I'm going to the store. And you know, I didn't see him till a month later. And I'm pregnant with your child. Don't
was hard to listen to a single mother's struggles, and on top of this, the father was completely acting ruthless to the baby. The testimonies couldn't convince him, so the judge called for the results to give the daughter back her rights.
The biological father is Mr. McGee.
How you feel now? Bet you feel stupid now, don't you?
Miss McGee.
You missed all them years.
Can you even imagine how tough it must be for a woman to discover that her husband may not be the biological father of her last 3 kids? Miss Moore here strongly believes Mr. Butler is her child's real dad, who claimed that baby mama told Mr. Butler multiple times in the past that he's not the father. Talk about a courtroom cliffhanger.
There is only one reason the defendant, Mr. Butler, has doubts he fathered your 1-year-old daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
You argue you've been told on multiple occasions by the plaintiff herself that you are not her child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh boy, things took a wild turn when Miss Carter presented a message as evidence, claiming her husband keeps her and their bundle of joy happy. But here's the kicker. Why did she need to whip out a message in court? And hold on tight, because the chaos escalated when Mr. Butler's wife locked horns with Miss Moore.
This is the
He
same
stepped up.
man that
Went to every doctor's appointment.
That looks just
No, you a lie on that
they
one.
look just
My
alike.
fiance is way finer than him. Knock that off.
Not only that, the baby doesn't carry his last name. Doesn't carry the last name. She's never shown him the birth certificate.
Mr. Butler remains adamant that this baby isn't his. And to bolster his case, his wife pulls out a picture showing Miss Moore with another man. Could this mystery man be the real father? Plus, there's another eyebrow-raising reason for doubt. Miss Moore never shared a birth certificate, and the baby doesn't even bear her husband's last name.
She come up there and say, well, I gotta tell you this, taking pictures of my baby and all of that. I gotta tell you this, your daughter looks more like Mr. Butler than any of his other kids.
This is the man you believe is Samara's father?
Might be.
I wish so, Your Honor. I pray to God and I wish.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment of truth. Is Mr. Butler truly the father of this adorable baby? Or was he right all along, and she doesn't share a drop of his DNA? Get ready for the thrilling conclusion as the DNA results are in.
Mr. Butler,
Yes, ma'am.
you are her father.
Now, look at her.
Miss Bullyjack's life was all jacked up because of the tittle-tattle of her own family. Now her relationship of 11 years was at the point that only a DNA test could save it. Let's see how this plaintiff's fame is testifying from the wrong side of the podium.
I'm my grandmother, and I truly believe that Marquise is not my grandbaby's father.
My mother is nothing but a traitor. Blood is supposed to be thicker than water.
And ma'am, who are you?
Well, Your Honor, I'm her sister, and she knows he's not the father.
She ain't nothing but a hater, and she ain't doing nothing but listening to my mama.
Well, you saw that witness parade. You can imagine how things would have been at home. That's why the judge moved and asked baby mama what had happened that led to such betrayal by her claim and lover.
Mr. Davis has been in a relationship for 11 years. That is over a decade. Our relationship has been ruined in rumors of infidelity and by people defaming my character, such as history witnesses and my sister, their blood. They're supposed to be sitting right here, but you see where they at.
So the relationship is falling apart, and it got further revealed that couples of friends also played their part in it, dropping a low comment here and there about Margaret ruining the bond between two lovebirds.
Everybody in his ear,
Yes,
this
Honor.
is causing a huge paternity issue
Your Honor,
in your
I'm sorry.
relationship.
I'm sorry. Her story is just not true.
It sure
I'm
is.
sorry. She admitted to us that
I
she
didn't tell
had
her.
a relationship with this other person.
She admitted to me she had a relationship with this other guy.
You heard the mama. The plaintiff herself had been doubt-dropping crackers here and there. See, even if you're saying such things out of spite, they're gonna come back to bite you. And in this relationship, it had ruined the lives of 3 children.
Before you got pregnant with Messiah,
Yeah, so kind of like after I had my first child, things started getting a little crazy, and I started staying with him and his mother.
so you opened your home, Ms. Davis,
Yes, I did.
to her.
Yes.
What was going on in the relationship between your son,
These
Bullyjack?
two argue constantly all the time. It's always something about some infidelity.
Anyway, coming back to the denial part, the defendant's mother pleaded that before getting pregnant, Miss Bullyjack had gone missing, which raised the question of paternity. However, her own added more serious infidelity. a shocker to the trial.
Me to babysit her kids while she go over there to so-called get her hair did, and she would stay for hours. And when she come back, her hair still can look like the same way when he came when she came back.
You think she was sleeping with this guy?
Yes, we know.
Wow, these ladies are just very persistent with their claims. What made things worse was that the big sister Lorian testified that the Messiah looked just like another guy, whom her sister was crushing on, while their baby mama, you know what? Wait, let's just watch it instead of me telling you.
I told her that I actually kind of had a crush on the man that they're speaking about. And I told
So you admit you had a crush on that man?
Yeah, yes I did.
Do you admit you slept with him?
No, I don't.
She was going over there all the time.
No, I wasn't going over there all the time.
Her hair did.
Yes,
First of
girl.
all, come back looking the same way it did when she left.
She would be gone,
And she'd be gone for hours.
Getting her hair done or not, what does it have to do with the paternity of the child? Why do they keep forgetting this court isn't a family court? Here, Judge Lake is all about children and nothing else.
So she would say, I'm going to get my hair done,
Yeah.
and then come back and her hair wasn't done.
Then she would ask us if Marquise calls, let him know that I was here the whole time.
A lot of revelations going on, which defendants had no idea about and were just making all the suspicions go stronger. Lorian even came out declaring that she tried her best to hint to the baby daddy that her youngest nephew wasn't his.
Sarkis looks just like you. Zion looks just like her. Who do Messiah look like? Because he looks like neither one.
Why is it so hard to believe that he's not his baby if he don't look like his own mama?
Messiah look just like the guy you was
Messiah don't look like him.
Same hairline color.
I'm not trying to hear none of that. I'm not trying to hear none of that.
And don't forget that Miss Commoners also made the same accusations over and over. Mr. Davis wasn't the father. My daughter told me that. However, this time, she added that Mr. Davis was too naive and had driven the plaintiff with his deadbeatedness.
She cheated on Marquise with the other guy. She said Marquise had been gone for 7 days and left her in the house with the kids with no food, no pampers, no nothing. And she said she's gonna get him back. She went and she slept with the other guy.
No, that's what she did.
But she had been.
Tell her nothing.
Oh, you were just working too hard, right? That's why you just kept giving the cold shoulder to your other children, too. No good excuse, I'd say. Even the judge was quick to point that out. Nonetheless, each of the participants had warned the judge out, so she reached for the envelope.
Mr. Davis, you are the father.
Where is the apology? Where is the apology?
Step into the courtroom and witness the clash of Rainey versus Matthew. What brought these two to this legal battleground? Get ready to find out the truth. Miss Rainey is demanding $4,663.50 from Mr. Matthew, claiming it's the rightful half of their child's expenses. But does Mr. Matthew see eye to eye with her? Will he step up and acknowledge his responsibility as a father? Only time will tell.
When I found out I was pregnant, I told him and the other person that it was between both of them.
No, you weren't sleeping with anybody else during the time of conception?
I slept with him and Rondell.
Mr. Matthews, what do you have to say?
I have to say that it's not possible that it can only be between me and one other person. She is known to have family trees in her.
When Miss Rainey went into labor, she contacted Matthew, keeping him in the loop. Even after she gave birth, she sent him photos of their newborn, hoping for his recognition. But shockingly, he dismissed the pictures, insisting that the child bore no resemblance to him. Matthew, have you ever considered the possibility that this little one is indeed your flesh and blood? Imagine discovering that you denied your very own children. How would you react?
When my child was born, we sent him a picture on the phone of my child. His words was, "That ain't my son.
Why
he
is you texting me?
He don't look like
What
me."
is you texting
Name
me for?
him,
You need to be sending a picture to your baby daddy.
You might as well name him Salih and be with Salih. So guess what I did? I named him Salih.
Right.
Living off Rainey's hard-earned money and still having the audacity to criticize her? What on earth is wrong with this man? Is his motive for denying his kids simply to dodge any financial responsibilities? In front of the judge, he shamelessly admitted that if Rainey is making money, he will gladly take his share. Where's the gratitude, Matthew? It's nowhere to be found.
Always had my own place until now.
And you made your own money?
Surviving, getting it, whether it was working on a pole, working at a restaurant, working in a restaurant, group home, anything, I got it.
Right.
And you had half of it, so what you complaining for?
I wasn't complaining about it. When I was
Mr.
getting half
Matthews,
of it.
what do you say to that? She's
Oh yeah, she'll
saying
give
that
me her money now.
The judge couldn't help but voice the question that lingered on everyone's mind. Why does she stay with him? Rainey's answer reveals a hard-learned lesson that loving alone is sometimes not enough. A woman needs more than just affection. She deserves respect and care. It seems Rainey has come to understand this fundamental truth.
I had a rough life. When you don't have nobody and that's all you have is somebody that's really nothing to lean on, when you can lean on them, that's what you gotta do. Like I said, yes, I did love him. I wanted to marry him. I still love him, but I don't want to be with him because he can't respect me as not only the child, his kid's mother.
Now, all that's left is for Matthew to take responsibility for his children. Even if he can't find love for this woman and their kids, the least he can do is provide financial support for the expenses Rainey bears. The court has been presented with evidence of the costs she has incurred. It's time for Matthew to face the music.
Today's DNA results are going to see whether he's responsible for these children. You are suing him for half of the child care expenses, $4,663.50. Have you brought the court any evidence of monies you've spent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on tight. The tension explodes into a heated fight. They shout at each other, vehemently disagreeing with every word. Who's losing their cool here? Is it Miss Rainey or Mr. Matthew? Well, Matthew crossed a line by claiming Rainey neglected the children's clothing, and that triggered her like a raging storm. Sparks are flying.
These are receipts
Her kids don't never
from
got clothes
baby-related expenses.
They do have clothes
They don't
on.
never
Well, why
got
you
clean
can't do,
clothes
okay,
on.
if my
She's
son
not
is
at
out,
the
why you
mall.
can't
They don't
step
never
up
got
to get him and do what you
Finally, the moment of truth is here, as the judge is ready to unveil the DNA results. However, the concerning part was that, if results show that he is the father, will it make any difference? Will he finally step up, embrace his role as a father, and provide the care these children deserve? The stakes have never been higher.
You are his father. All right?